This is homework set 11, factoring with the greatest common factor and factoring by grouping. In question 11, we've got 4 terms, not anything common to all of them. 4 and 16 have a 4 in common, but the 3 does not divide into 16 of the 4. So we can't factor something completely out of all of them. However, I've got 4 terms, and I notice in the first 2, there's a 4 common, but also there's a b squared, right? What's common here? There's a 4. Now, there's no a over here, but there's a b squared and a b squared. So what's common to these two? 4b squared. Now, what about these two over here? 3 and 12. This one has an a, this one doesn't. So there's at least a 3 common, but what I'm going to do is this. There's a 3 common, but remember what we do. You look in this group here, right, I'm taking out a 3, I'll write the 3. But in this group here, in the second group, you always use that sign. All right, in the second group, always use that sign. So I'm going to take out a -3 or a -3. Now let's do that. In the first group, I'm going to take out that 4b squared, and what's left? If you remove a 4 and a b squared, all that's left is that a. Those are an a left. And then positive 16 divided by positive 4 is plus 4. There was a b squared, but we removed it, so that's it. Now, what about over here? You're taking this out here, right? You're taking out a -3, so we need to be careful here. -3. Now, what's left? So just do a division. -3. Well, you're removing that, right? So what's left is an a. Or -3 divided by -3 is a 1. So all that's left is an a. But then over here, we get -12 divided by -3 is plus 4. And that's what we were expecting, right? I was expecting to get that in common. If I didn't, I'd worry about it and recheck it, because these problems are made so that this works. So I get that a plus 4 is common, and if you take out that a plus 4, right, if you just take that out and take that out, what's left? 4b squared minus 3. And that is the factored form. Now I want to do something here. In question 11, let's do this again. Here's what we had. Right, what we've got is 4ab squared plus 16b squared minus 3a minus 12. Now what we did before is we grouped together these two and these two because they had something in common. But I don't have to do that because I see this over here. See this? 4ab squared and the 3a, there's an a in common. So there's an a in common here. And what about here? In the second and fourth, 16 and 12, there's a 4 common. So what if we do this? Out of the first, matter of fact, and then remember what we always do. Look at that second group. That sign is positive. So I'm going to take out a plus 4. I'll write the plus here. So out of that first group, take an a out. Now, the first group was number 1 and 3. So if you take out an a here, what are you left with? Take an a out, you're left with 4b squared. So you get 4b squared. And then over here, right, in that one, if you take out an a, you're left with a minus 3. Now, can you see it here? There it is right there. We're just using it a slightly different way. Now, in the second group, you're going to take out that plus 4. So take out the plus 4. And if you take out the plus 4, what are you left with? Well, positive 16 divided by positive 4 is 4. And you're left with that b squared. So you get the 4b squared. And then the last one, -12 divided by 4 is minus 3. So there it is. I've got that 4b squared minus 3. And then if I remove that, if you remove this from both terms, you're left with that a plus 4. Now, this is the same as what we have over here. It's just that they're reversed, right? But you know that x times y is the same as y times x, right? It's commutative. So we've got the same thing. So it doesn't matter how you group, you should end up with the same result. Question 12. 4 terms, nothing common all the way through, right? There's an x, no x. So there's nothing common all the way through. So let's try grouping. Now, I see in the first two, there's an x common, so I'll take that out. I'll group those. In the second group, there's a 2 common, and the first term in that group, the first term in the second group is positive, so I'm going to take out a plus 2. Now let's do this. Take an x out of the first two. So if out of these two, if you remove an x, remove that x, what's left? Y minus 3. And then take out that plus 3. All right, here's that plus, not plus 3, plus 2. Come on, get it to right here. Now, if you take out a plus 2, what are you left with? Well, 2 will go into 2 once, so you're left with a y, and 2 will go into negative 6 minus 3 times, and that's exactly what we were expecting, right? Because the problems are written, so they do that. And what left, if you take out that y minus 3, is an x plus 2. And let's claim that that is the factored form. Question 13, we've got 4 terms, right? We've got 4 terms, 1, 2, 3, 4, and nothing's common all the way through. Let's see, I've got A, no A's, right? So nothing's common all the way through, but I've got an even number of terms, so I'm thinking grouping. Now, let's just see if we just group together the first 2 and the second 2. Could anything work? What's common in the first and second 2? I've got A's. I've got 4 here and 4 here. So what's common is A to the 4th. And then what about these 2 over here? Well, first of all, it's the second group, so I'm going to use that sign. So whatever I've got is going to be a plus. And what's common here in these 2? There's a 3 common. All right, so that's our plan. So I'll take out an A to the 4th, and if I take out that A to the 4th, what's left? Just remove the A to the 4th and the A to the 4th. What you're left with is B squared minus 3. And then take out that plus 3. Now, if you remove the 3, what's left? If you remove that 3, what you get is a B squared. And then, if you remove the 3, negative, right, 3 times what will give you negative 9? You do a division. Negative 9 divided by 3 is minus 3, just as we expected. So what's common now? That B squared minus 3 appears in both terms, and you're left with A to the 4th plus 3. Question 14, just 2 terms this time. Anything common between 35 and 21? There is. 7 divides both of those. Now there's 2 x's here, 1 x here, so I can take out an x. There is a y here, 2 y's here, so there's at least a y in each one. It's always the smaller exponent. So I'll take out a y. And if I do that, what's left? 7, here's what I'm thinking. 7 times what would give me 35? So I just do a division. 35 divided by 7 is 5. Now, there were 2 x's to begin with. We removed 1, so there's 1 x left. There was a y, but we removed it, so no y's left. And then, what do we have? Positive 21 divided by 7 plus 3. There was an x. We removed it, so there's no x's left. But there were 2 y's, and we removed 1, so there's 1 y left. There we go. Question 15, our last question in this homework set, is a trinomial. What's common between a 9 and 18 and a 21? Well, 9 goes into 18, but does not go into 21. But 3 will divide into each of these, so I'm going to take out a 3. Now what about letters? Variables. I got 3 B's, 2 B's, and 1 B. So there's at least a B in each one. Always the smaller exponent. All right, so what have we got left here? 3 times what will give me 9? Do a division. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Now, there were 3 B's to begin with. We removed 1, so there's 2 left. Then, positive 18 divided by positive 3 is plus 6. There were 2 B's, right? B squared is BB, so there were 2 B's. We removed 1, so there's 1 left. And then, negative 21 divided by positive 3 is minus 7. There was a B, but we removed it, so that's it. We're done. We've got the factored form. We factored out the greatest common factor. And that finishes our homework set number 11 on factoring with the greatest common factor and grouping.